Hello and welcome to Matt's Casual Cooking. Today we are going to be making spicy fried chicken sandwich with pepper jack cheese, onion, and barbecue sauce. Now this is a fried chicken recipe you can make really for anything with the seasoning that goes on it, but we're making a very delicious sandwich today and very spicy too. So we're going to go over all the ingredients and how to cook and everything else. So I hope you very much enjoy the deliciousness, and let's get to it. Okay, so we're going to be making the fried chicken today, but I want to go over some very quick safety items that you're definitely going to want for it, because you definitely don't want the fire, if it happens, to get out of control. So first of all, alright, so we have your baking soda, we have a lid for the pan to put over the fire, and you have a fire extinguisher, which I always recommend in general in your kitchen, always to be safe. And for controlling the temperature, you're going to want just a temperature gauge. There's all sorts of temperature gauges that you can get for yourself, but this is the one I like to use to put in the pan. So that's just a quick little safety thing, and we're going to go over actually how to cook it here in a second. Alright, thank you. Alright, now for the ingredients, you're going to need 4 pounds of chicken, either like a bone-in or like a good-sized chicken breast. Now for the buttermilk drenching, you're going to need 2 cups of buttermilk, 2 large eggs, and 1 tablespoon of your favorite hot sauce whisked together. Now for the dredging, for going to be part of the crust of the chicken, you're going to need 4 cups of all-purpose flour in a pan, and with a couple pinches of fine salt in there. Now for the frying of the oil, you're actually going to need probably about 4 to 8 cups of either like a grapeseed, peanut, or canola oil for the frying. This is going to depend on your pan that you're using, and we'll go over the pan that I'm using today, and you can kind of see. Now for the after cooking, after it's rested, and actually after it's had its crust, now for the glazing of it, you're going to need half a cup of whatever oil you're using for frying. You're going to need 4 tablespoons of cayenne pepper, 2 tablespoons of dark brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, and 1 teaspoon of toasted cumin, and you're going to want to kind of ground that up. And you're going to need 2 garlic cloves of minced garlic. Now you can add a pinch of salt to that if you want, but we're kind of using a lot of salt. So now you can kind of see I have the chicken. I put that overnight with some salt on it because we want some salt to kind of diffuse into the chicken. It'll help make it taste even a little bit better. And then just take it out about an hour before you start cooking to kind of get to room temperature. Alright, now for actually dredging the chicken, and the steps we're going to do is we're actually going to we're going to take a piece of chicken out, put it in the flour, then we're going to put it in the buttermilk, and then we're going to actually put it back into dredge it through the flour again, and we're going to shake off any excess flour after we've done that. And then we're going to set it on the cooling rack that I have right there before we actually put it in the fire. Now we're only going to want to do about 2 to 3 pieces, maybe 4 at a time for this. And the way the whole system is, we're going to do the first part, and as you kind of see, I'm kind of slowly moving over. We have the pan, we have a grease screen to help with the cooking so the oil doesn't go flying all over the place. And then we finally have our resting pad. Now as you can see, I also have 2 separate tongs. Now when we use the tongs over here, those are going to be the only ones we use for dredging the chicken and putting in the oil. Once the chicken starts cooking, we're actually going to use the ones used for cooling. We don't want cross-contamination. So right now, what we're going to do is we are going to heat the oil to 360 degrees. Now I have a 12-inch pan that I'm using today. You only want to fill it up about halfway up the sides. You don't want to fill it up to the top. That would be really bad. So we're going to turn it up, and we're going to heat it to 360. And then once we do, we'll come back to the cooking part, and I'll show you what to do. All right. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and show you the process for the chicken because the oil is almost ready to cook in. So go ahead and take your piece, put it into the flour, and move it around to get all of it covered. What you want to do is kind of shake off the extra flour, put it into your buttermilk. And get a good, let some of the excess drip off. And put it back into the flour and give it a good, and get that flour over it again. And shake again off the excess. Put it on the resting rack for a minute. And just do that again a couple more times. And then we're going to go ahead and put them into the fryer. Alright, so now we're going to put the chicken in. And you want to be very, very careful. Obviously the oil is hot and you just don't want to toss it in and splash it. What we're going to do is just going to kind of gently put it in. You're going to see a little bit of bubbling. And actually, probably put a little too much in. It's a little high, so we're just going to leave it at 2 for right now. So what we're doing, you're going to see that bubbling because it's actually taking the water out of the chicken. What we're going to do is actually put the screen over it to kind of stop some of it from coming up. So what we're going to do is we're going to let it cook for about 12 to 16 minutes on each side. And then once that's done, we'll put it on our cooling rack and we'll put the others in. Alright, so 12 minutes are up, so what we're going to do is just kind of lift the screen. Be very careful. Just turn it over. You already see we've got a nice golden crust forming on top. So we're going to cook this for about another 12 minutes. And we'll put it on the cooling rack as soon as we're done. Alright, so the 12 minutes are up, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the splatter screen off, and we're going to take the pieces that are done, and just move them, kind of shake them off a little bit, try to get some of that oil, kind of move them over to the rack. Be very, very careful at this point. Obviously the oil is very, very hot. And just set it down there. And start cooking my other one. I'm actually going to add another one here in a second, and then we'll go over the ones that are already done. And for the chicken that's done, you can kind of see we got a nice golden. Yeah, a little blackish, but that's fine. Most of this is a nice kind of dark golden flavoring. So what we're going to do is after we've cooked everything else, we're going to go ahead and put the spice on top of it, and I'll get back to you as soon as we're done on that. So I'll see you guys again when all the chicken has been cooked. And this again is Autumn, our taste tester. She knows we're frying chicken today, so she's really looking forward to it. So she's resting right now, and again, gonna wait for the deliciousness. All right, so our chicken is done. It's been cooling also while we've been cooking. So what we're gonna do now is we're actually gonna put the oil spice combo on the chicken itself. So what you want to do is if you made it before you cook, some of the ingredients will kind of coagulate at the bottom. So just give it a little whisk to stir it back together. And we're going to get both sides, and you're going to know the chicken is done as if you stick the thermometer in and it's at least 165 degrees internally. So what we just want to do is take your spice, take some tongs, just grab a piece, put it back on the cooling rack. Now I took it off. Now you can do the spice first, so you can take it from the cooling rack, put it on a plate if you want. Just kind of brush it on. Just try to get as much as you can. Now this is good even if you don't want to make a sandwich out of this. You just eat it as is. Once you got a nice layer on, try to get in all those crevices. Make sure you get the sides. Now once you do that, take your tongs, flip it over, and just get the other side. Make sure you get every side. That's really it. So now you're just going to want to let it sit on there and kind of dry out and kind of form its own crust on top of it. So what I'm going to do with this is just like as you saw in the beginning of the video, I'm going to make spicy chicken sandwiches out of it with pepper jack cheese and onions and some barbecue sauce. So if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you enjoyed making it and the deliciousness of eating it. So I hope you all have a good rest of your day, and thank you for watching.